Hello and welcome to Black Dove Divinity Tarot. I am the Black Dove, and I am back with another read. I was just in the process of preparing for dinner and in the process of, kind of winding down. I plan to take a nap, but spirit, especially ancestor, I'm getting called by ancestors to do an ancestor spread. So this particular reading is going to be different from the readings that I normally post. In that it is strictly guided, of course, by spirit, but also by ancestor. So I'm inviting our ancestors into this space, those ancestors of the highest white light, ancestors that are part of your warrior army, your protection, your prayer warriors, the ancestors whose prayers have sustained you. I want to see what message the ancestors have for you today on this last day of February. Feel like they have something that they really want to get off their chest. Okay. So the spread that I'll be using today comes from the Hoodoo Tarot. There's a spread called See Bout Your Folks. And I'm going to use that spread to call in, messages to help connect us to our ancestors, both the maternal and paternal line. So you may know already, if you have a relationship with your ancestors, which ancestors normally come when you call them, which ancestors, uh, known and unknown, whether you knew them in the, physical realm or not, your name has been spoken at the table of heavenly hosts. They have discussed you. When I posted the reading from earlier today, we pulled the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is all about collaborating with spirit. Okay. So we want to talk to your collaborators. Uh-oh. All right. So let me go ahead and get started. Now, before I pull from the Hoodoo deck, I pulled from the Celtic Spirit or the Tree Spirit deck. Okay. Anytime I think of ancestor reverence, I think of nature, especially trees. African traditional religion has high reverence for tree and tree spirits. They believe that there are, the living, the breathing and walking amongst us. And there's also, those that have passed on. And they believe that they also interact and move amongst us. So a lot of times trees are seen as holding the spirit or the soul of passed on loved ones. So I wanted to start with the tree oracle or the Celtic Pride Oracle to give us, some leading messages from your ancestors to better help connect us. Okay. So the first card I pulled in preparing for this ancestor read is the Green Man. And in this deck, the Green Man operates like the divine masculine. Okay. We can even say the emperor. So perhaps the larger overseeing ancestor could be a man, perhaps father, grandfather, or within that grandfather line, great greats, great greats, etc. Um, but with the green man coming out first, this really talks about a connection to source and a connection to nature. The divine masculine is, connected spiritually to source and connected spiritually to nature. So this card speaks to that oneness, seeking out the oneness with nature and, of course, with God. That connection, in strengthening that connection, you strengthen the lines of communication with your ancestors. Okay. It is God who appoints your angels, your ancestors to you. They come on behalf of God. And in calling in your ancestors, be very intentional in calling in your, highest white light ancestors, your pure ancestors. not every ancestor, crosses the portal with good intention. So you only want to call those who have pure intentions, light workers, and those who do not play about you. Okay. So there could be a man, one who had a deep connection with God, one who, um, kind of operated as the bridge. They would pray for you, they would give you that wisdom. Um, so with this being the first card out, the ancestor that's hovering, the ancestor that's with us, um, could have significance, perhaps as a father, grandfather, uncle, a strong male figure. Okay. I also pulled the gift, and I look at the gift as you. Okay. You are the gift of the ancestors. And with that realization comes power. So where the green man is the bridge, or could have been the bridge in your family between God and the family, you are the bridge in the connection between physical and spiritual realm. Okay. So what God or your ancestors may require you to do, only you can do it. Okay. So with you being the gift, this speaks to um, communication. It speaks to crystals. See the gift in every situation. So, as we're setting up this ancestor spread, you are the gift. You are the prayer answered. Your ancestors communicate to you, and you may be one of the only ones who has this gift. Even though you may have siblings or other people that descend from this particular family or this bloodline, not everyone has the gift, right? And that is the gift of communication, that third eye gift where you are energetically feeling, energetically communicating to your ancestors, okay? You have a direct line. You are the gift. And the number on that card is the number 7. So, with that being a spiritual number of wisdom, um, messages, okay, you are the gift, you are the bridge through which source and your ancestors communicate. Okay. I also have here oak. And oak is really important in the tree spirits. It's one of the strongest trees. The tree of life is considered an oak tree. So it has deep roots. It provides protection, it provides wisdom, stability. And with this channel being dedicated to the Black civil priesthood, to the Mami Water civil priesthood, the oak tree was especially important. Um, a lot of times they felt that the messages from the divine, the messages from source, traveled through, the oak tree. And with me connecting you as the gift, the leaves of the oak tree would fall. Um, and that was a lot of times a metaphor for, the leaves of the oak tree being, the offspring of the oak tree, and in the oak tree releasing them, they are sending them out into the world. So you are out in the world, but you're not of the world. Okay. You're connected to source. You have an ancestor army that surrounds you and communicates with you. And the oak again is emphasizing that stability, that background that you hold. Okay. You're very strong, spiritually rooted. All right. So the oak operates as a doorway. This is your credibility. This is your pathway to, journey in the spirit realm, to journey between, the living world and the spiritual realm. Okay. As above, so below. You have the gift, endowed by God to communicate and connect with source. Okay. We also have here portal. So the door is opening up. It's about to be curtain call, right? You are on your journey, you are at the doorway, and with the gifts that Spirit has given you, the gifts that come as a direct connection to source and to your ancestors. Um, I see this card as being a really important card in ushering you, through that portal. Okay, the portal is the gift of communication, whether or not you get your downloads through music, through language. A lot of times when I'm reading, I get messages reinforced. Whether you're getting those messages through direct channels, a lot of times Spirit just places um, a thought or an idea, in your mind. However, you are channeling your gift. These cards, the spirit guides are confirming that you are indeed gifted. You are a tool of communication from source between you and God, between you and your ancestors. Very important assignments are being communicated. Okay. I'm also getting to that your ancestors, in getting familiar with your gift, in tapping into the various ways that you communicate with source and with your ancestors, they are also telling you to strengthen your connection with God. Okay. Um, whether that's through prayer, whether that is through, engaging with the stories from God or about God, whether that's the Bible, Proverbs, Psalms. Maybe you have a background knowledge. If you are like myself, maybe you've grown up in the church, you were raised um, in that environment. And, through life, kind of navigating life, you may have gotten far away or strayed away from that connection. And your ancestor is telling me to tell you, don't forget God. Okay, don't forget God. All right, Spirit, thank you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start the See About Your Folks spread. I'm going to lay the cards out, and then I'll kind of let you know how the ancestor is speaking to us. What's the general message, Spirit? What's the general message from the maternal line? What does the collective's maternal line want them to know about who they are and how they live? What does the ancestors? All right, they have here justice. So the general message about, especially coming from your maternal line, that's your mother's side of the family. The general message is justice. So regarding who you are and how you live fair, you live just. You believe in getting what you give, right? Receiving what you give. You believe in universal law. You operate accordingly. So that first card out is, general about what your maternal line feels about you regarding who you are and how you live. So the justice card is Libra. So you could strive to live a balanced life. Again, one that strives for fairness. Okay. The next card out details um, how your maternal line, the overall general message of how your paternal line, your father's side of the family, views you and how you live. Okay. So we have here the Three of Knives. So your father's side of the family could view you as being very strong, able to overcome heartbreak and difficulties. So I'm getting with this Three of Knives energy, your ability to overcome, your ability to, and I'm getting heal yourself, your ability to accept joy and pain, right? So your paternal side, your father's side, whichever ancestor I'm channeling, I'm getting that they are, proud of how you've conducted yourself in not so favorable conditions. Okay. The Three of Knives, I believe that's Libra energy also. So both sides of your bloodline, your maternal and your paternal side, they appreciate your qualities of fairness. They appreciate your ability to pick yourself up and keep moving, even though you may be in pain, even though you may be struggling. It's that resilience that they really admire. Okay. If you think on it long enough, you may be able to relate to a specific ancestor that was also, resilient, strong, may have gone through a lot, but always kept a smile on their face. Or even if they weren't weren't able to keep a smile on their face, they were able to maintain, still hang on to their faith, still hang on to their good nature. They managed to stay connected. Okay. All right, spirit. What is the ancestor in my maternal line? What do they want? What does the ancestor want from the collective? Calling on that ancestor from the maternal line or maternal bloodline, calling on your mother's people. What is it that they want from you? All right, we have the Star card. They want you to heal. They want you to keep the faith. They want you to hang on to hope. Don't lose the hope. And I just got, don't lose hope, or keep the hope that the good thing that God has started in you, he will see through to the end. So with the Star card being, the ancestors viewing you, first of all, as grandbaby, because the Star card in this deck is called the grandchildren. So that's the gift. You are the gift and the promise of your ancestors. Okay. And when we think about, what do they want from you? They want you to be healed. They want you to be whole. They want you to be happy. They want you to be safe. They want you to be, um, I said keep, don't lose hope, but they want you to keep the faith. Okay. No matter how bad you may feel, or no matter how bad it may look. Again, this is connected with, um, stay connected to source. Remember, I said at the beginning of the read that your ancestors, 1919 on the timer, your ancestors want you to stay connected to God. They said, don't forget God. Okay. So, what does your maternal line want from you? They want you to heal. They want you to stay connected to source. They want you to keep your faith. They also want you to be elevated. They want you to be celebrated. They want people to know just how special you are. So the Star card in terms of what does your maternal line, what does your mother's side of the family want from you? They want you to be exactly who God created you to be. Okay. They want you to be healed, whole, and happy. All right, Spirit. What does the paternal line, what does the collective's father's side of the family, calling those ancestors as well? What is it that you need from the collective? What is it that you want from the collective? What should they be focusing on right now? It's most important on their journey with paternal side, Spirit. Uh-oh. Flipping this over, that was quite a lot. Maybe just one, Spirit. All right. Oh, we have the Empress. The Empress is Taurus and Libra energy again. So I'm getting heavy balance. Your family wants you to be balanced. Balance isn't all good. They're not expecting perfection. Balance is a measure of joy and pain, with the Three of Knives. Um, it takes the joy, it takes the pain, and it balances it out. The Empress is divine feminine. She's abundant. She's all four queens combined. So she is nurturing, she's loving, she's fair, she's influential, she's beautiful, she is intelligent, right? So your father's side of the family, I'm getting heavy baby girl energy. So with the Empress coming out in terms of what does your father's side want from you, they want you to stand in your power. Like they know who you are already. You're big Empress energy. Okay. Yeah, this says the big queen. So they know already who you are. They want you to know it. They want you to stand in it. They want you operating in this Empress energy. This is what they want you to know. So your mother's side of the family wants you to know that you're the star, and your father's side of the family wants you to know that you're the Empress. Okay, so they want you to know that you are a big deal. Okay, they don't know how, or they actually do know how you may see yourself. They may know that sometimes you may play it small. Okay. So with this ancestor spread, with this message, what they want you to know is that you're the star. And in a minute, everybody else is going to know it too. Okay. But they really want, they're whispering it in your ear. You don't have to be whole. You don't have to be 100% healed, but you are the star. You will rise to prominence. And whether that is through your job, whether that is through um, your gift. Tree spirit energy early on talked about the gift of communication, the gift of channeling and connecting with source and with your ancestors. Um, with you being the Empress and the star, the Empress, well, the star especially is people are going to know your name. And whether that is just God knowing your name, your name in the book of life, your ancestors want you to accept, this calling, this gift on your life, your ability to communicate and channel messages. Okay. All right. Let me get a little bit more and see how that plays in. But yeah, your father's side, your paternal line, they see you as the Empress. That is huge. That's huge. And I'm just get heart happy thinking about my father and, my father's side of the family. Really fun side of my family. Like they were interesting and colorful and flawed but beautiful. They were resilient. My father's mother and his grandmother, they migrated to Oklahoma from Louisiana. So I believe, even though I didn't know my great grandmother personally, I do believe the gifts that I have in terms of my connection to God and my gift of clairsentient. I believe that that comes from my paternal line. Now, I don't know fully, the stories. That's one thing about African American culture. Sometimes the stories are lost. We depend on them being passed down orally, and sometimes they could either be remixed or we just don't get the full scope. This is why it's important to, if you have the ability to connect with source and to connect with your ancestors, to really strengthen that bond. But I feel a strong bond with my paternal line. So when I see that they look at me as the empress, even when I was a little girl, I felt like that. I felt really loved and valued. So I thank spirit for that feeling that just kind of washed over me when I saw the Empress card. All right, let's keep pulling. Um, we are at 26 on the timer. All right, and speaking about gift spirit, what are the gifts that the collective inherited from their maternal line? What gifts does the maternal line bring to the collective? Ooh, the Ten of Pentacles. They give you the gift of legacy, of divine inheritance. And my mother's side of the family is also very interesting, very beautiful, and amazing story. Now, I do have a little bit more information on my mother's side, in that, the elders on that side, they were very proud of their family, very proud of their heritage. So the stories were always told, the stories were always passed down. So what I'm getting from this Ten of Pentacles card, with this being Earth energy, Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus, you are deeply rooted, firmly planted in material, energetic wealth. Um, Directly descended from your mother's line, your mother's bloodline. Okay. So I don't know, and this can even go back, um, to ancient times. I feel heavy ancient ancestors. So the people on my mother's side, they always carried this air of wealth. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to use the word bougie. I'm not going to use bougie, but they always walked with a stride. There was always a confidence, sometimes silent, sometimes not. But they knew that, the bloodline was special. The bloodline is royal, is what I pick up. I can trace my mother's side back to I think it's 5 times great grandfather, who came directly from Nigeria. He was a French Nigerian. Um, and, the story has kind of been told down through the generations about him, about the land and land and money, just overall wealth that my mother's side of the family was able to attain, especially during the statehood of Oklahoma. So both sides of my family were a part of state building. You may have heard of the all Black towns all over America, but in Oklahoma specifically, um, as newly emancipated slaves or enslaved people migrated west. And my family, my mother's side, migrated with the Creek Indians. So they migrated from Georgia, um, South Carolina to Oklahoma. So they were a part of Oklahoma when it was Indian Territory. Okay. So I'm going a little bit deep into the connection there, but this 10 of coins, there is a royal or a divine inheritance. That is your gift. That's what your mother's bloodline has directly gifted you. It is yours to collect. It is yours to see through. Okay, so whatever that divine inheritance is, whether it's property, whether it is, again, gifts, it could be the gift of connection with source, the gift of connection with ancestors. I know for a fact the prayers of my grandfather, grandmother, mother, my family, my mother's line were prayer warriors. So I do believe the inheritance I'm living off of right now came from, the prayers and manifestations of my maternal line. Okay. If you haven't done any ancestral research, as you are, on your journey, on your healing journey, seek that information out as well. A lot of times it is directly tied to our gifts. It can help to establish direction in what it is you're called to do, what your assignment may be. A lot of times it is related spiritually and ancestrally. Okay. You've heard the saying that we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. They struggle to get us here because we are divinely guided to live out that dream. Okay, so that inheritance, that's the dream. And I believe that your inheritance is to be wealthy. Your inheritance is to be abundant. I get that from the Empress energy, and for your bloodline, your kids. Okay. All right, so that's the gift we inherited from the maternal side. What gifts, spirit, has the collective inherited from the paternal side? What are the paternal gifts that the collective should be aware of? What are the paternal gifts? What gifts have been endowed? Ooh, the magician, the magi. I was just speaking about my father's side of the family being from Louisiana, Alabama, um, Kansas, but they all originated. Those places is in connection to them originating from Louisiana, Alabama, the Southeast area. Okay. And one thing I learned about the area that my family came from, my father's side, they came from this place called Bienville, Louisiana. And the first Mardi Gras took place not in New Orleans, but in Bienville. And I think I'm saying that right. If anybody's from New Orleans and I'm butchering that, I think it's Bienville, Bienville in Louisiana. That's where my father's side comes from. And I believe I've always felt like with them having the roots and ties to New Orleans, um, it has a strong significance on my calling, a strong significance on my gifts. Um, my uncles that I know of. Now, there could be other family members that I'm just perhaps maybe, just ignorant of. I'm not sure. But I do know my uncles, my aunts, my father, they were special. My uncle would have dreams. He would interpret dreams. Anytime he would have a dream or a message from on high, everybody would listen because it normally came to pass. So, in terms of the gifts that you may have inherited from your paternal line, the magician is gifts of manifestation, gifts of manifestation, gifts of calling things down, the gift of being able to use whatever it is you have to get what you want. You have this creative ability. So the gift is your vision. The gift is your ability to manifest your vision, the gift of creativity, also too the gift of connecting to the past. The magician calls things forward, as above, so below. Right? Wait a minute. As below, so above. One of the two. I'm getting it mixed up. But yeah, your gift from your paternal line is this gift of manifestation. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. So in looking at the maternal and paternal line, Spirit, what ancestor is here with us today? What ancestor is seeking to connect? Okay. We have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups is your dreams, your desires being fulfilled. So when we think about this in connection with an ancestor, us calling forth the divine ancestor, baskets is cup energy. So that is water energy. So this ancestor could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Okay. With it being a nine of baskets, nine is releasing surrender. Scorpio. I don't know why I'm getting Scorpio, but take the message as it resonates. I'm going to keep pulling, but when you think of what ancestor you're thinking of now, what ancestor you connect with, what ancestor you may regularly feel in your energy, use what you know to make the connection on what ancestor is here. Whose energy are we pulling from? Whose energy are we calling down? I'm getting that this person was a positive person. This was a person who perhaps spent their life working to fulfill their wish or their dream. This person is a water sign, a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This person may have had an ease about expressing themselves. So maybe you could always depend on them to tell you how they feel. Okay. So however you connect to that, we welcome the ancestor in this place. All right, Spirit. In what way would you most like to connect with the collective, Spirit? How should they look to connect with you? How should the collective look to connect with this ancestor? Ooh, we have the Emperor. Okay. So when I think of the Emperor, I think again of all four kings. So this person is very high ranking. They could have been high ranking in the family. With it being the Emperor energy, I'm getting masculine energy. I got that with the Green Man that came out first. And remember, I spoke about the Green Man with the tree oracle, this representing the Emperor, or at least that divine masculine energy. So I feel that the ancestor that's with us is a masculine. Okay. It's a masculine who could be a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. It's a masculine who perhaps held high rank in the family. So perhaps a father, a big papa, a grandfather, could even be a uncle or a brother, but someone who held a position, a high position in the family. Okay. The emperor is normally, the boss. This is boss daddy energy. The emperor, again, with it incorporating all four kings. This could be I think of the King of Wands, a visionary, someone stable, motivated, inspirational. I think too of the King of Cups. I talked about how this person may have had an ease with which they express themselves. Even though the King of Cups, he feels, he doesn't expressing himself isn't always his strong suit. But we also have the King of Swords, so a person whose thought is elevated. They think fair. They put their minds on things above. I said this person was positive, a very, high vibing person in the family, somebody you were always happy to see. Okay. And that person wants to work with you. This ancestor wants to work with you in terms of helping you to establish abundance. The emperor is abundant. The emperor handles business. So they want to work with you in handling or establishing your business, whatever that may be. But I think it is related to your gift, with that gift card being out and the grandchild. Yes, this has to be a grandfather. It has to be, or a father. Okay. And they're hovering because with you being the child, they not only protect you, but they protect your children. Okay. And the way that they want to work with you is they want you to incorporate their lessons. They want you to incorporate what you've learned, what they've taught you, that ancestral wisdom. They want you to not forget that. They want you to teach it to your children, utilize it in your vision and how you, shall I say, run your household or run, your day to day. Okay. They want you to be more aware of their presence. All right. So it says your relationship with this ancestor, daughter of knives. It's a father. It's a father. And again, whether that is a grandfather, no matter how far it goes down the line, great, great, or great, great grandfather, wherever that falls, your relationship with this ancestor is they see you as daughter. And with this being the daughter of knives, this is the equivalent of the Knight of Swords. Okay, so they see you as being loyal. They see you as being someone who can be depended on. They see you as being someone honest and truthful. Um, if you know anything about the Knight of Swords, they can also be, is the word impetuous, you know, maybe a little rough around the edges, and I'm thinking of myself here, sometimes the wisdom that I have or the wisdom that I share, maybe a little rough around the edges sometimes. And I feel like your father may feel this way about you, or your grandfather may feel this way about you. You may not say it how they would say it, but they're telling you to, call on those lessons. Think about what would daddy do or what would your grandfather do, call on that wisdom. Use that wisdom as, your vision in terms of how you either run your own home or how you, just conduct your life again, that day to day. I like that, daughter. Oh, I'm so happy. So hoping that, if you haven't if your father hasn't passed over or hasn't crossed over, this again could be a grandparent, a but definitely a masculine ancestor, a nurturing ancestor, a stable ancestor. So one that you could always go to. Okay. All right. Let's pull the last card. What will we achieve if we consistently work together to solve problems? Yeah, that's what your ancestor wants you to do. They're kind of watching you, they're hovering, and they watch you struggle with things alone. They're telling you to communicate, connect to source, connect to your ancestors. You do not have to do this alone. Okay. They're saying that you have it within you. You are the grandchild, you are the star. You have it in you, everything that you need. Okay. The prayers have been sent on the wind, and, God heard them. Okay. So they're saying, remember that, remember the promises of God and call upon them. Call upon your ancestors as well. you know, you'll be surprised. Just like they protected you in the physical realm, they go hard for you in the spiritual realm as well. I am happy that my father is on that other side for me because he went hard in the spirit realm. So I know I have an advocate, um, on the other side, as above, so below, who is cheering for me, who wants to see me win, who is boo bopping, whoever may be in my way or causing me harm. I believe that with my whole heart. I believe that about my grandfather, my shotgun carrying grandfather. He does not play when it comes to his grandbabies. He doesn't play about us. So I'm getting that energy. All right, last card. What will we achieve? We have the daughter of wands, the daughter of sticks. You're going to achieve everything. You're going to achieve your dreams, right? This is like the knight of wands. The knight of wands, he comes in fast. The knight of wands is a free spirit. Um, there's a saying that goes with the card, here for a short time, not a long time. So the knight of wands is known as, this fiery, passionate, um, energy, someone who, I want to say traveler. Where am I getting traveler from? I'm getting traveler. Oh, because the Knight of Wands is a traveler. They normally don't stay, right? So all I'm getting from that is that you're a free spirit, and wherever you go, spirit wants you to work with them in terms of you being an inspiration and inspiring others, and you living out the prayer. You being the prayer personified. They want you to grab that opportunity, grab it by the reins and ride off into the sunset by working together with your ancestors, by calling in that ancestral team. There's nothing you can't do. I'm pulling this here also with the manifestation card. There's nothing you can't do. And the ancestors is um I don't want to say infusing. It's in your bones, that manifestation power, that emperor, that empress power. Those are heavy hitters of tarot. The emperor and empress both are out on the table. So, your family, your ancestral line only sees and expects big things from you. And not only do they expect that, it's a part of your legacy. It's a part of your divine purpose is to be abundant with the Empress and Emperor energy, to be a visionary, to be stable, to be loving and nurturing, to have your wishes fulfilled. Okay. With the star being out here, I'm just cannot get away from the fact that I believe your ancestors want to elevate you. They want everybody to see what they see. Okay. um, right at 49. And I did want this to be a little bit shorter than an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close out the reading. But yeah, your ancestor, really heavy energy. I was nudged to get up and make this video. So your ancestor wants you to not forget them, to stay connected to God. And in staying connected to God, staying connected to them. um, your ancestors are part of your army, your spirit team. So call on them. They are more than eager to protect you and to teach you as well. So call on the lessons of the ancestors. Um, the major arcana here is the Justice card, the Star card, the Emperor, the Empress, and the Magician. Listen, it's magic all in your family. It's magic all in your family. Okay. And they want you to sit in that, right? Sit in this big queen energy that, you are the divine feminine, you are magical, and it is your destiny. It is your birthright to have abundance, to have magic, to have every good thing. Okay. So I'm wishing that for you. I'm wishing that for your children, your bloodline. Um, and if you haven't already, like the video, comment, share, subscribe, especially if you know who this ancestor is. If you know who is this Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio who showed up in the reading, drop it in the comments below. Subscribe, and thank you so much for supporting the channel Black Divinity Tarot.